All right, so there you have Dennis Allen addressing the team's final game of the season. Here's the comparison of quarterbacks who played in this game. Terrelle Pryor for the Raiders. Phillip Rivers, who most people would say he's a legit NFL quarterback. There's no question. So compare the numbers on this day. Pryor threw the ball more. Completion percentage down. Right there with the passing yards. Touchdowns, not bad. A couple of them. Threw an interception. Quarterback rating of 72. So how did he fare if you compare the quarterback?
Well, what you don't have there is rushing yards. And there's the difference in what he provided. And he probably got out of 3 or 4 sacks in his football game, where if it was Carson Palmer, if it was Matt Leinart, they would have been sacked.
All right,
that's what he did for you.
So he gives you a little something extra. 49 yards on the ground for Terrelle Pryor in this football game. I want to get to Dennis Allen. How do you feel he addressed the Pryor situation? I know I'm setting you guys up here because we have interesting times
exactly
during Dennis Allen's press conference. We have a different show that we do among the three of us, but I want to try to take you inside it. Anyone? You want to start low, or you want Bill to start?
I'll jump right in. I think that, and Bill's gonna, he'll agree probably, and some he might. But here's the thing that I look at. I listen at Coach Allen, and I understand this is Coach Allen's team. He is the head coach of the Oakland Raiders and will be the coach. That's unmutable right now. I get that part of it. But when I hear this guy, Coach Allen says, "Oh, he just did okay." Here's the deal: Peyton Manning. Earlier this year, they said, "What's wrong with Peyton Manning?" Threw 3 interceptions. Drew Brees last week, interceptions. Tom Brady. Name me a quarterback that doesn't want to improve. And I'm not by no stretch of imagination comparing this young man to those guys. Wilson, all these guys, they do throw interceptions. They do make mistakes. And that's what I don't understand. When the coach keeps saying the growth of this guy and he's not doing the things he needs to do, I have a hard time following that because I understand as a former player, I have to constantly want to improve my game, my craft. That's what you do as a player in the National Football League, even as a coach. So I disagree with that, Bill, totally.
You know what? You got to look at the upside of Carson Palmer. How much upside do you have with Carson Palmer at 34 years of age? Not a lot. How much upside do you have with a guy like Terrelle Pryor? An awful lot. Okay, I saw Dennis Allen basically address this. He looked at this press conference. I look at it and I hear him say he did some good things. He did all right. He's able to
earn the right to be evaluated.
Yeah, what are you telling me? The right to be evaluated?
A little spark.
A little spark? This guy gave us a lot of spark. He gave us hope. Okay, that's something that the other quarterbacks, that Carson Palmer wasn't giving us any spark. This entire season, he wasn't giving us any spark. I think what this shows to me is this guy ought to be competing for a starting role. And that's what Dennis Allen ought to be saying, is I want to give the Oakland Raiders the best chance to win football games. There is competition. Whoever is the best person, and if Pryor is that guy, then guess what? We're going to put him out on that field if he gives us the best chance to win. Because you know what that will do? That will push Carson Palmer. You got to create competition.
And I agree. And I think that Carson Palmer will be the start of this team next year. But I'll tell you right now, I think that he's earned the right to come in at number 2. I think Carson Palmer could groom this guy. I think you can have a package created for this individual next year.
So number 2 with options to go in there within games.
Yes, within games, but also
Smith-Kaepernick conversation that they had on the other side of the bay. You think he's that ready to be a difference maker in the game?
Here's what I do believe. I'm a strong believer in this, and so is Bill. Players make plays. Coaches make decisions that determine the outcome of the game. Why do you think they booted him today? Bootleg, put him outside the pocket. That's a coach making a decision to best utilize this young man's athletic ability. I'm saying if you look at Kaepernick, why are they running a pistol? When you look at the Washington Redskins, why are they running that pistol, the read offense for RG3? Why are they doing this with Wilson? That's a coach making a decision that's going to put his athletes in the best opportunity to win the game and simplify the reads. Now they read one part of the field and they look up. So I think that coach needs to make those decisions, and I think Bill agrees with that.
You know what? And what we're not... There's another piece to this, is the Oakland Raiders are not good enough to compete in the National Football League right now, to compete for a playoff spot. So what does a guy like Pryor give you? He gives you more options. The playbook gets bigger because of the pistol, because of bootlegging. you know, because of his ability to run and extend plays, get out of sacks. That's what you got to look at, because the Raiders are probably 2-3 years from being competitive enough to go for the playoffs or a Super Bowl.
What this performance did was give Raider fans something to chew on as they look into an offseason where they have to get better in a lot of different places on the field. As we continue, I know this game didn't mean anything for the playoff groupings. Well, they've got to accumulate more talent. All right, we've got 1 minute to go. Your assessment of the 2012 season. You got 20 seconds. Go.
It was not good. Disappointing. But what it was a cleanup year. Reggie McKenzie was $30 million over the cap. He had to cut a lot of players, get rid of a lot of waste, and basically go out there, and this was a rebuilding year. And that's what we saw out on the football field. It was rebuilding. They are rebuilding, Lo.
I think they lost it right away. They lost it with Hugh Jackson. Reggie McKenzie did a horrible job not bringing in Hugh Jackson for the interview. Who better knew this team than Hugh Jackson, who had these players? Bring him in, at least know what you got, and then fire him if you don't have him. But at least you would have had an opportunity to know what you have, and you wouldn't went down this road of losing.
The season is over, and now the press conference on Monday at 11:30 in the morning. Guys, it's been a great year. They're counting us down. You want to close out? I was going to put the helmet on. Tim Tebow. He wants to bring in Tebow. Romo.
The Raider organization is about to embark on a new era.
This team was built on a tradition, a commitment to excellence. We want to embrace that, but also at the same time, we want to move into the future and what we're trying to get accomplished here. This is a new day in Oakland Raider football.
Join us as we kick off a new era of excellence. Call 1-800-RAIDERS or visit Raiders.com.